Hi, Kiwa.
Hi, Jess. I grew up in Hong Kong pretty much my whole childhood. I was born in Tokyo. Felt like I didn't, belong or like sense of kind of identity. Like even though I look Japanese, I speak Japanese, they would not see me as Japanese.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm Jess, and this is Behind the Yellow Curtain Season 2. So this season, if you don't know the drill, I invite many of my close friends being on my couch, and we're going to talk about life experiences, journeys, and, a lot of exciting stuff based on the common threads we all have, which is being a multicultural person. So this time I have my other dear friend. We work together every day and she's awesome. And without further ado, hi, Kiwa.
Hi, Jess. Hi. Well, thanks
Hello.
for having me on your podcast.
Thanks for being here and thanks for being on my couch.
Yeah.
I said that to every guest, but really,
I love
I'm
your
really
couch.
happy. Yes. I try to make it cozy and comfortable.
Yes, it is. Your house is lovely, as always.
Thank you. Let me ask you this. Let's start from where you're from.
I grew up in Hong Kong pretty much my whole childhood. I was born in Tokyo, but like I don't consider myself like from Hong Kong or like from Japan either. So like I don't know. It's both, I guess. Like
Yeah. So you were born in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Till what age did you go outside Tokyo? Did you go directly to Hong Kong after this?
So I was born in Tokyo. I don't know when exactly, but I went to Taiwan right after. So I was still a baby. I don't remember much. I was there till like 2 or 3, and then came back to Tokyo because my mom had my brother. So we were in Tokyo for a while, and then went to Hong Kong until I graduated high school. So pretty much my whole childhood was in Hong Kong.
Wow. And then you went to international school in Hong Kong.
Yes.
But then you come back to Japan.
I do.
Was it your decision to come back to Japan?
Yeah. So in Hong Kong, like it's very multicultural and like I really loved there. Like looking back, I feel like I was really lucky to be in that environment where like, my best friend was like from India and like, US. And so that I really loved. But then somewhere like in me always like felt like I didn't, belong or like sense of kind of identity. I never learned Japanese. It was only through my mom. So yeah, I guess naturally I was like curious. And so I was supposed to go to Toronto for like college, but I decided like, okay, I'm not, which my parents were not happy about, but I decided to come back to Tokyo.
Oh, wow. So it's like a crave of getting to know your root culture better,
I guess,
that push you to come back here.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because like in Hong Kong, like a lot of people are expats. So people, like I would have friends, but they'll go back to their country. So like every year I had to kind of like make new friends, and there wasn't kind of like a stability in me kind of. So I'm good at like, I guess, making friends or like belonging, but not in the sense like I really truly belong somewhere. So I kind of wanted to explore a little bit more about my Japan side of me. And so that's, I guess, why.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. So you came back, went to a college. And if I recall correctly, you went to a college that's also English speaking.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I guess like I didn't really have the option to go to like a real Japanese
Oh,
college.
the process is different?
Yeah, like the exams are different, and I guess I wasn't that interested in like diving into like a completely different
Japanese. That
environment.
makes sense.
Worldizer. So I went to Sophia, where I know like there's a lot of people like me. Share similar backgrounds, like lived abroad or went to international schools. So it was interesting. The first time I learned Japanese history was from a German professor in English. So
At Sophia.
Yeah, Sophia.
That's so funny.
I know.
The irony.
I know. Yeah.
Do you remember any
No.
Japanese history from that class?
No.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
nice. Wow. I think I kind of see not a pattern, but it's something that's very interesting as you talk about your journey so far is although you crave your root culture, right? You also you weren't trying to let it take over you or just kind of discard the part of your identity that supposedly you feel like you don't belong anywhere, but that thinking itself, it's also part of you.
Yeah.
So you ended up, even though coming back to Japan, you go to a college that knowing there are more people feel that way. And then that's
hard.
where you feel belong.
When you're like in Japan, like people label me as like Kikokushijo, like you know the term. Kikokushijo is like people who come back from abroad. So I guess like even though I look Japanese, I speak Japanese, like in like a real dome Japanese like environment, like they would not see me as Japanese. So naturally I feel more comfortable like with people like me who kind of share the same kind of background, international, whatever.
No, that makes sense. It makes sense. Also, it doesn't make sense to me every time I hear this. It happens to all community, like all culture is somehow, some way people will always find something to define you're not enough to be 100% belong to a certain community. So in your case, like in my eyes, like I'm a total foreigner, but in my eyes, I'm like, yeah, you're Japanese. Like what else is there to peel off?
Right.
You're Japanese. Like
and
but it's instead of you're not Japanese enough, it's more like you're Japanese and more. It's usually how I see it. It's like, okay, this is probably, sometimes that's the base, right? Or sometimes that's how people identify themselves as a base, but you keep adding on personal stories and experience. That's what makes you you instead of you being less because of our experience.
True.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Like, I think Japan's more like you need to, there's like certain kind of like expectations for you to be like a Japanese person. You know, mannerism, like reading the air kind of thing. And so I feel like when I first came back, like I struggled because in Hong Kong, like everybody was different and that was the standard, you know, like because everybody came from a different country, different culture, different religion, so that was like the standard. But then I came back and everybody's Japanese, so like I didn't have to think about like what I said was right or wrong because like everybody's different, you know, back in Hong Kong, but now in Japan, like something is right and something is wrong, and like you say something like straightforward and people are like, oh my gosh, she's like so straightforward. So at first, like I felt like it was really difficult, especially I guess like when I joined like Deloitte, my first job, business manners and all that I guess was difficult. Especially like you probably see it too, like, you know, consulting is like super like strict, like formal. There's like so many like ways of like you should, like how you should deliver, present and all that. So and like in Japanese, like it's so complicating the language, the whole like you know, how to write an email properly. Little things, but we didn't have ChatGPT back then, so I was like always so scared to like send emails to like a client because like my boss would be like, oh, your grammar's like so wrong, or like, you know, you shouldn't be this and that, and like I took forever to write email. Then, you know, he would be like, why are you taking so long to write email? So,
I know. I kind of a little bit get that feelings every time I'm trying to communicate, trying to practice my Japanese at workplace, right? And then every time when I write something, I try not to rely on GPT first, but then I'll like write a paragraph and then send it to GPT. I'm like, is this rude?
Life is so much
Yeah.
easier now. Like
Yeah.
you just ask him
I
and
know.
ChatGPT and
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the feedback will be grammatically you're right. However,
Ever.
right?
You could like say it this way.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? I want to kind of go back a little bit when you talk about, I think the importance in recognize the difference between different culture. You said in Hong Kong because it's also there are a lot of expats, so people are very used to you saying things in millions different ways. But as long as you deliver that message,
Yeah.
people care less about how you deliver it.
Yeah,
Because they also
exactly.
understand that you're from different backgrounds, like the context you're using is very different.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way in New York, right? People in New York, a lot of them, they didn't grow up in New York or
Yeah.
like at first when I was in California, like when I was in San Francisco, even though it's same big cities,
Yeah.
but people are more used to being born in the Bay Area
Right,
versus in
right.
New York.
Everybody's
they're-
from different.
Yeah. So
I guess that in that way, like similar.
yeah, and in a way
Yeah.
you feel at ease when you're communicating and then without trying to be too thoughtful in how you communicate.
Yeah.
Not of course be
Of course.
respectful.
There's like the baseline, you know?
Being respected, but you don't have to think about maybe like
Yeah.
the nuances
Yeah.
wrongly
Wrong,
delivered. Yeah.
or, like-
But then coming here, it really is so
It must be so hard for you, like
yeah. I'm like read air. Like what air?
what the fuck is there?
Why can't you
I
just
can't
say
see
things?
it. Yeah.
You know, like this, the
Yeah.
amount of time I complain about. Oh, in my head is a 3 minute discussion always turn to 15.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
why my meetings, like, you know, my schedule
Yeah.
is like so many meetings.
Yeah.
I feel like I can cut them to like 15, like, you know, 1 hour meetings to like 15, but like,
Yeah.
because everybody's like reading the air and like trying not to, you know, say things
That
out-
could
yeah.
could offend other people.
Yeah,
But
even-
still trying to give constructive feedback. But at the same time, still they don't want to offend people
Yeah.
or be perceived as rude.
or you don't want to be the one to like say something's different.
Yeah.
So people just like keep quiet until the very end. They like start saying, you know,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they could like say, oh no, I don't think this is right or wrong. Like in the beginning, then
beginning.
we could have that discussion like, you know, way before.
Yeah.
But then they like, you know, see other people's like faces and read the air.
Yeah.
And, like don't say things. And so
Yeah.
that's why meetings are so long in Japan.
I know.
Right?
I just want to clarify, like, due to everything that we just said, Kiwa's schedule is, if you can imagine, 3 people with full schedule combined. That's her schedule. I'm not even
so
kidding. It's not. I'm not exaggerating. That's her schedule because of the 15 minutes.
Yeah, no. I worked with the Singapore team last year and I really loved working with them because they're just like, so like, okay, so what's the conclusion? What are we doing? And the meeting is like literally like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very different.
Damn. So there's another question I ask you. I think I didn't have that question till I had the last chat, like my last recording. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's the thing. Because even though you grew up elsewhere, but you came back and then they still see you as Japanese, even though, you know, putting aside if you're Japanese enough in their mind, they still think you're Japanese, right?
Right.
So meaning that in my experience, because I'm recognized as foreigners, sometimes I do, a lot of time I do have the privilege to play gaijin card and kind of get away with it. Like I can still be very
I
straightforward and
love gaijin card. I wish I had that.
let me give some to you. Make it rain. But I feel like because I heard this in one of the conversations saying that the moment they recognize you as fluent or native in the language, you lost that privilege, or they just really hard on expecting you to meet that standard. Is that, how does that affect you? Since you coming back pretty open-minded, pretty like, I know there are more ways of doing things, but however, because you're fluent and then your name is full on Japanese, and then you look fluent Japanese.
Like, I
The
think I
sigh.
get sometimes I get away with things because like I'm Kikokushijo, like she's Kikokushijo, so that's why.
Also, that's also a thing.
I don't know if it's like getting away with it or just like saying, oh, because she's Kikokushijo, that's why she's like that, or like
Oh,
I don't think it's always like a positive thing necessarily.
I don't think it's ever positive.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever positive.
But so yeah, I think there's that. But and some people, I don't know, present themselves as Kikokushijo. Like a lot of the kids that go to international school, they are like, okay, I'm Kikokushijo, so like, I not Japanese. Like, don't like for me, like I think I have both. Like because like my mom was like really strict and like she expected me to like behave or like in a Japanese way, and like I speak quite fluent in Japanese is because like she taught me, and she after school like I had to like study Japanese until like I don't know 10. So
Wow.
from her I feel like I get like I need to be Japanese or like more than I guess like colleagues or like office. Like I think it was like my mom who helped me, I guess, like have the Japanese identity, but also like there's like a pressure on me, like oh I need to like make sure that I blend in or like be respectful.
I see.
Although I do have like my Kikokushijo side, I also do have this like very Japanese side of me, like which I kind of like got from my mom.
Yeah. No, I witnessed that. Yeah, I do. Every time we're in a meeting.
Yeah.
I'm like, very respectful, being Kiwa and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like, because I think compared to 10 years ago, I do feel like Tokyo, at least in Tokyo, it's more diverse than before. But I do think people are still getting used to being more flexible or embracing different ways of communication, different ways of delivering things, or different ways of working with one another. At least that's like so far my experience. Being like I feel like 10 years ago when I visited Japan, in the air, I know, reading the air, in the air it felt more tense than right now.
Really?
Like I think that's when there are not that many tourists. Yen is still strong.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Never
And
really
nowadays, I wouldn't say it's because of tourists, but in general, like globally, people are craving diversity. So one way or another, you will see more foreign faces in different countries and then from different backgrounds, and maybe more parents are more open to the idea to send their kids somewhere and then allow them to learn in different countries, different cultures, which I think is a good thing. Whether or not they ended up decide to go back to their own countries or stay there, I think it's always a good thing to kind of have that blend.
That's true.
Yeah. So I want to also ask you about how, from growing up in Hong Kong, having different types of connections, like dynamic with your family, dynamic with your friends, and then even into like relationship partnerships. Like how has it been changing or affecting you as an identity? Being like, now you said a few keywords is one, you grew up in a very expat driven culture. However, your mom is pretty traditional as like still pouring in Japanese values and cultures and mannerism into your day-to-day life. But also you have a very strong personal to be like, I do want to understand different sides of me, all the cultures that's within me, even including the sense of not feeling you belong somewhere. How does that change your ways of connecting with people?
Tough question.
We got time. So it's a very long questions that we can unfold it step by step.
Okay.
One questions from that big questions is, I'm curious how you deal with, has your ways of communicating with your family and your friends changed throughout years as you like move from place to place?
I guess like with friends, it's like when I was young, like my friends kept changing because everybody like moved, to Hong Kong, out of Hong Kong. So I don't really have like a childhood friend. Like it's because I've only been friends for like 2-3 years and they're gone and never meet them ever again. There's only maybe like one or two person like from my childhood that I still in touch with, which is a bit sad.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I lost touch with, I still have Facebook, right? Because that's one thing that I can actually see what people are up to, back in Taiwan. Because that's when I left, that's what everyone's using, like before Instagram and other social media comes in. And every time I see someone getting married, I'm like, I never get any invitation because in their life, I don't exist.
How long were you in Taiwan for?
Till my teens.
Oh, then you might get it. But you hope you get it.
I never get it. It's okay. Yeah. So back to my actual question. Okay.
I lost track.
Yeah. No. You made it halfway. I was asking your dynamic change or how you build friendships changes throughout years. Like I think you started from, you said you really didn't have that many lifelong friendships because of your journey as like you change environments every few years. That's really hard to maintain friendships back when there's no internet available 24/7 and then you come to Japan and then you tend to go make friends with people with similar backgrounds and who really also grew up abroad because I want to assume value is more similar to how you value things and how you value life. But you do have in your friend groups, now that we're at it, in your friend groups, you still have people who are domestic, no?
I guess not so much like in terms of my friends, I think. I obviously do like at work or like, through other things like my wine school friends, like they're domestic. So it's not like I don't make friends. It's just like my close friends are more like people who I guess share kind of similar background, like working.
Yeah.
Also, not a lot of women or like in Japan like work really hard too. So like actually like working, even though they're moms or they grew up abroad. So yeah.
I think even with in my case, every time I move into different countries, I try to be friends with people who grew up locally, right? Because I'm like, okay, that's the way to for me to learn local culture. But you can try that for a few months. And then you're like, okay, I think I run out of cards. I don't know what else to do to maintain this this connection anymore because the value is different. Like value is such a strong thing. And then I also learned that through I have like one dating experience after I moved to Japan, and that didn't work, right? Because it's a similar things, and it's really hard. Like I think it all trickles down to if you share the same value.
Yeah, dating is hard.
So
friends are easier.
Friends are easier. Yeah, they're more grace to one another, and you can try more. So let's talk about dating. Okay, so that was our episode. And if you like it, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share with anyone that you feel will resonate with this content. And we have new episode every week. So stay tuned and I'll see you next time.